All right, more evidence suggesting that the Lions have caught a huge break just ahead of the playoffs. We're going to break it all down. But first, we asked on our YouTube channel poll, who would you rather have, Saquon Barkley or Jahmyr Gibbs? And it's crazy, right? It's Gibbs. And it's like, I'm not even trying to be biased. I know I'm a Lions fan, but given his age and how much he makes and how well he plays, he is RB number one, because you wouldn't take McCaffrey. McCaffrey's injury prone. Derrick Henry's 30 years old. Who else is there? Josh Jacobs, no thank you. So it's Jahmyr Gibbs. Let me know in the comments, Jahmyr Gibbs or Saquon Barkley. Who would you rather have? Okay, here is how the Lions caught a huge break. First news, there's two things. Enos Rakestraw is going to be able to come back. They opened up his evaluation window. That provides some more depth. But the break that I'm talking about that is absolutely huge is the statisticals kind of analysis has come out about Alex Anzalone and how he played last week. And it's like, okay, we can win the Super Bowl with Alex Anzalone. Why? And I'll show you here in just a second. But the biggest thing is Jack Campbell. So Jack Campbell paired with another, just kind of no-namer with all of our injuries at linebacker. He's a good player, but not great. But you put Alex Anzalone there, settles things down. He's running the communication, allows Jack Campbell to be a star. I mean, really. So now you've got a star linebacker. You got Alex Anzalone. He's got his arm just dangling. But he did it, right? So if you look at it right here, look at some of these numbers. Let me pull it up really quick. Is that Detroit had allowed an average of 30 points per game after allowing just 16 points per game in the first 11 games of the season. The return of Jalen Reeves-Maybin didn't seem to help against the Niners, right? We get Jalen Reeves-Maybin back. We're like, okay, there's a guy just like does nothing. But we hold the Vikings to 9 points, no touchdowns, 262 yards on offense. Sam Darnold throws the ball 41 times. And it's like, jeez, what is going on? So the Lions defense pre-Anzalone injury from weeks 1 to 11. Let me read some of these numbers to you. Basically, top 10 in every statistical category. Points allowed per game. Yards per carry. Passer rating. Number one in passer rating. He's an excellent coverage guy. Didn't know that. My bad. Did not know that how good of a coverage guy he was. And sorry, I can't seem to share my screen, but that's okay. I don't know what's going on. Here's the Lions defense without Alex Anzalone from weeks 12 to 17. Remember, I said we're top 10 and everything. That drops to being almost worst in the NFL in everything. Yards per carry, passer rating is 27th. Points per game, 22nd. And then Anzalone comes back. We go right back to the stats that we were weeks 1 through 11, when we would all say, like, we were borderline, not elite, but like really good defense. He goes out. We're just getting torched. He comes back, right back to where we were. Top 5 in everything. Points per game, all that. So why do I say the Lions caught a huge break? It's because, interesting. I say break because he broke his arm. That is a injury where it's just like, sorry. Now, the credit goes to Anzalone that he comes back. He wraps it up, steel plate, the whole thing. He said in Amon-Ra St. Brown's podcast, I was really sore. Couldn't move it, all this after the game. But with Anzalone back, the Lions can win the Super Bowl. It went from, we're going to win the Super Bowl, or let's not even say win. It's just like, we're going to get to the Super Bowl. Like, let's go. How sweet would that be? We're going to get there. And then it was like, I don't think we're going to get there. Anzalone, there was that stretch there where we lost Aleem McNeil, everybody. It's like, shoot, it just isn't going to happen. And then Anzalone comes back. It's crazy because if you would have asked me, hey, you get one guy back, who would it be? I probably would have said Hutchinson, or I would have said Aleem McNeil. Honestly, I think I would have said Carlton Davis too. I would have had like Anzalone like 4th. Shows how dumb I am. And then the next thing you know, it's Anzalone that comes back and is outstanding. So that's just crazy to me, and I just love it. Okay, next thing is the Raiders interviewed Ben Johnson, and the reports are that they just loved it. Now, of course they did. They loved him. I guess I would just be shocked if both of our coordinators did not leave. Considering the Lions, the way that they play, the record, all of it, I would just be stunned if they didn't take him. So the first interview, kind of the first feedback comes back, and it's like, oh, they loved him, enamored with him was what they said. Cool. Great. Okay. PFF did an article about the available free agents. And again, don't want to look ahead. We got this season's just going awesome. And I don't want to look ahead too much, but I just thought it was interesting. Some of these names to keep in your mind. I know we're not going to go after big free agents, but it's like there's some players available. T. Higgins, number 1. Guard Trey Smith from the Kansas City Chiefs would just be insane. It kind of feels like we may need interior offensive linemen, and we know that it's just the heartbeat of our entire team is our offensive line, so I wouldn't be surprised if we spent some money there. Chris Godwin, Tampa Bay. Khalil Mack's going to be a free agent. DJ Reed, corner out of the Jets. Amari Cooper, no. Ronnie Stanley from the Ravens, a tackle. And then Sam Darnold is going to be available as well. So, again, just a little snapshot of the top 10. That's like, there's some things there. So, again, sorry I can't share my screen. I don't know what happened. But one other thing I wanted to look at was when you just how far the Lions have come. Tell me if you've heard this before. I'm going to read to you the top 10 draft picks this year. And the reason I'm going to do this is because we used to be here, and it's the same teams. And we'll talk about this in just a second, but Tennessee, Cleveland, Giants, New England, Jacksonville, Vegas, Jets, Carolina, New Orleans, and the Bears. They all have 3, 4, or 5 wins. You get stuck in this. You draft high, and your fan base is dying for a win. So what do you do? You draft how you basically shouldn't. You draft a splash player. You draft a quarterback. You draft something that you're not ready for, and then you got to play them. And we were there forever, right? We're up there. It's like, well, I guess we'll take a wide receiver. I guess we'll take Roy Williams because we're up here. I guess he's pretty good. It's like, man, the Lions, what they did cannot be replicated. It's going to be very difficult. Teams don't have the ability, patience, whatever you want to call it, where they took that 2021 season, tore it down, drafted Penei Sewell with their first pick instead of Jamar Chase. He wasn't available. They ended up taking him, but still, you get this core player, and they just built out from there, took patience, took that first year to just like, we're going to lose. But, man, even then, Dan Campbell was going for the win. He was going for it, all that stuff. And the Lions now are no longer stuck in just this cycle of every 3 years, new coach. But like, no, this year we're going to be patient, or this time we're going to be patient. So you give them 5 years. It's like, okay, it still didn't work. Start over, and you just do it over and over. And now the Lions are one of the premier franchises in the NFL. And they've got a great coach, great quarterback, great ownership, core foundation. It's crazy. Let me know your thoughts. And we'll see all of you on the next one.